You mentioned having a weather strategy earlier. Could you say more about what that is and why it's important for every business to have one?
Yeah, so weather strategy is really understanding fundamentally how does weather impact my business? And there could be multiple ways, that you impact a
Mm.
business. We'll talk about maybe a retailer, for example. How is it going to impact my supply chain? So getting supplies to my stores. How is it going to impact consumer behavior, right? What consumers want to buy to make sure that I have enough inventory, right? And then how is it going to impact maybe my marketing? Right? Because if I know
Mm.
that, a certain time of year, certain products sell, how does it impact my advertising spend? And those are just a few examples. So a company really has to look at from end to end, okay, how does weather impact the decisions that we need to make as a company? And then making sure that you have the accurate data so you can make those decisions. So for a company, it's really twofold, right? One, it can help you save money, right? Because
Mhm.
you're prepared. And two, it can actually help the top line. And so what we see with some of our customers, you can have dynamic pricing as an example
Mhm.
of a way, that you can use the power of weather to drive revenue. And so really having that strategy is important, depending on, what line of business you're in.
Yeah. So I think this is the thing most of us don't think about when we think about weather and the weather company is how do you make money and how are you helping other companies drive revenue? So really good
Absolutely.
examples of that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, if you think about it, it starts with the weather data and you have to have really strong, accurate data. But in some cases, data can be a little bit of a commodity. It's what can I do with that data? So, how do I create insights from that data that really drive my business? So, whether it's using expertise from our company from meteorological perspective or giving us and combining data. So, how do you take the weather data set combined maybe with your point of sale data to
Mhm.
really look at trends, to really understand weather's impact? Those can then lead to really strong decisions on how you operate your company a little bit differently that then have the two benefits, either saving on expense or driving top line revenue.
Yeah. And do you do that work in house or are you partnered with others to help sort out how you can provide the value?
Yeah, so we do that in-house. Obviously it starts with the weather data and the weather
Mm.
models that we create. And then we've built we call it a weather engine. It's an
Mhm.
insights platform. And so we can already just look at, we have over 100 different targeting triggers that we call them to look at consumer behavior, for example. And so we can look at it and say, okay, consumer behavior is X, Y, and Z based on the weather and based on location. So at what location, at what weather scenario do we see an increase in sales of a certain product, as an example? So that's fundamentally the service. But then we can also invite our customers to provide that data in a safe way that then we can layer their data on top of our data and see do those trends change to get very specific to their customers. And so it's all of a service that we create in house and extends beyond retail. We're actually working closely with different departments of defense and looking at how can we create insights around training simulations or planning for missions. For example, how is weather going to impact a mission all along the route of that mission? What are the insights that we can deliver? Those are very mission critical, type events, just like it is around aviation.